Sometimes the choices you make can't be undone. No matter how much you want to go back, you can't.
Is it terrifying?
That's exactly what the episode The View from Halfway Down made me realize. It forces you to sit with regret, your failures, your missed chances, the moments you thought you could outrun.
No, there is no other side. This is it.
But luckily, it's also eye-opening on how we can deal with it before it's too late. The episode starts when Bojack wakes up with a hydrangea in his hand, a strange, specific flower for a mother who never wanted them.
Does she even like that kind of plant?
Probably not. She doesn't like anything.
And that's the first sign that something isn't right, because Bojack's mother is gone, and yet she's opening the door, perfectly calm. So is everyone else. Crackerjack, Corduroy, Herb, Secretariat, even Sarah Lynn. All the people Bojack has lost. They greet him like nothing's wrong. No awkwardness, no blame, just polite smiles and warm welcomes. And Bojack, he slips right into it. He makes jokes, he smiles back, because of course he does. It's what he's always done when things feel too real.
Yeah, I kept having this dream where I was having dinner with all the people who were gone, and I thought I should do that.
And for a moment, it works. The atmosphere is good, the company's familiar. Everyone plays their role like it's just another scene in a show he's already watched 100 times.
Yeah, show her. Get her to the kitchen.
But something feels off. The silences are a little too heavy. The air feels rehearsed, like everything's been carefully staged to keep him calm. And then it hits. This isn't a dinner party. This is a final act, a curtain call. And Bojack, he's not the host. He's the guest of honor. He's here because there's nowhere left to run, and everything he hasn't dealt with, it's talking to him in the room, smiling politely, waiting for him to notice. The dinner starts. Everyone is served with food that says something about their character. Beatrix has food from the nursing home she was in. Sarah Lynn has fast food because she was road tripping with Bojack. Herb has peanuts because of the truck he crashed into and his allergies. Zach Braff is the waiter because his last act in life was feeding others. Corduroy has a lemon because, I'll let you fill that one in yourself. And Bojack has pills and chlorine water for the pool he's currently in outside of this dream world. That's when conversations bubble up. Best part, worst part. Go around the table, share the best part of your life and the worst. Simple, right? Each guest reflects on their life, their defining moments. Sarah Lynn starts by saying that her sacrifices meant something.
Sacrifice is good, because I sacrificed a ton.
Crackerjack shares a tale of war and family, talking about how enlisting in war made him feel like a hero. Corduroy questions whether pleasure and purpose can ever truly align.
If I wasn't constantly trying to feel good, always looking for maximum pleasure.
And Herb, he reflects on being authentic, on losing everything and finding himself in the process.
It wasn't until I got fired that I actually became myself. I was authentically me.
It's beautiful, poignant, but underneath their words, something else seeps through. You start to hear it in their pauses, in the way they glance at each other when the room goes quiet. None of this is about nostalgia. It's about regret. Not the loud kind, not the obvious kind, the kind that hides inside your greatest achievements, that lingers behind your proudest moments, that shows up years later when you realize the things you thought mattered maybe didn't really matter so much at all. Sarah Lynn sacrificed her whole life to give fans a show they'd never forget, which was her greatest achievement. But what did she ever gain from that? Crackerjack gave his life for honor and valor, but it also caused his demise, which prompts the question, was that worth it for him? Corduroy kept chasing pleasure, constantly trying to feel good, but he lost himself in the process. And when it's Bojack's turn?
What about you, Bojack?
What?
He dodges, as always.
Well, I guess my worst part has to be I went to Angela Diaz's house.
But the smile fades a little faster this time, because somewhere deep down, he knows the question isn't going away. Bojack still doesn't know what his best part is, and that, more than anything else, is eating away at him. Because if he can't name a moment that made it all worth it, what was it all for?
I have nothing to show for the life that I've lived, and I have nobody in my life who's better off for having known me.
That's when the drip intensifies. A slow, steady tapping. Bojack notices it, feels it, tries to ignore it.
Seriously, is no one noticing this leak?
But the leak doesn't stop. It keeps falling on Bojack. Cold, relentless, unacknowledged by almost everyone else. Because the drip isn't water, not really. It's something Bojack brought with him. His unfinished business. His shame. The part of himself he thought he could keep hidden, even in a place like this. And it's getting harder to ignore. That's when the door opens. It's Secretariat. Or maybe Butterscotch. Or maybe both. It's the dream logic of this place. They're the same. Bojack's role model, Bojack's father, his past and his ideal merged into one. Bojack's stunned.
Wait, Dad's here? He's never made it to dinner before.
Which says a lot. Secretariat settles in, cracking dry lines with Beatrice, brushing off his lateness.
I already apologized. I was running.
It's awkward, fractured, the way all of Bojack's family interactions tend to be. The game continues. Best part, worst part. Secretariat defends his best part, says he got to go out on his own terms, that not many people can say that. And yet again, it's not a triumph. It's a cover, which I'll briefly talk about later. For now, the real bombshell comes when Bojack coughs up black tar. He winces, but everyone else just keeps eating. Because in this world, regret doesn't scream, it whispers. Even when Bojack finally shares his best part, a memory of helping a struggling student, it's drenched in doubt.
And what? You helped him do good in a scene for your class? That's the best part of your whole life.
He liked it, he says, because it reminded him of when he and Herb were young, when everything felt possible.
I liked it because it reminded me of when I was young. You and me screwing around, hitting up open mics, trying to figure it out.
But was that really the best part? Even he doesn't know. And that's the problem with regret. It clouds everything. You can't fix the past. You can't rewrite your story from the halfway point. You can only stare at it from halfway down. But there's something you can do. That something is being told through the show we're just about to see. Everyone gets up. And Bojack? Bojack says this is always the part where he wakes up. Except he doesn't. Not this time. And the drip doesn't stop. Herb steps up, grinning like a proud MC.
Tonight's show is in honor of Bojack Horseman.
He beams as the lights shift and Sarah Lynn takes the stage. Bojack tries to reason with the past, reason with his regret.
I'm so sorry for everything that happened with you. I should have protected you.
But Sarah Lynn cuts him off.
Bojack, this is my time.
Then she sings. It's haunting, beautiful, bittersweet. The lyrics carry all the weight Sarah Lynn never got to say when she was alive. The applause dies. She's gone. No goodbye, no bow, just gone. Bojack looks around.
Where did Sarah Lynn go?
But the show must go on. Corduroy flies in next. An aerial routine, absurd and elegant, until it ends with a drop. Another trapdoor. Another body swallowed into darkness. And Bojack? He's not laughing anymore. He tries to get answers.
Where does this door go?
Sit down, buddy. You'll get your turn.
But Bojack isn't ready. Not even close. So he slips out with Secretariat, needing air, needing something real. They light a cigarette together, and the tone shifts. Secretariat is no longer the myth. He's the man, the disappointment, the unspoken pain. He looks at Bojack and says,
I promise you, every single person in that room would go back if we could.
Much to the surprise of Bojack. What would a runner that inspired millions around the world do differently?
I wouldn't have cared so much. Cared about what? About everything.
That's when it hit. The piece they all claimed to find? Just another performance. And Bojack? His entire life has been a performance. But maybe it's not too late. Maybe he still has time. Before he could continue doubting it, the conversation deepens. Secretariat becomes Butterscotch, Bojack's dad. And he says the words Bojack always wanted to hear, but could never believe.
It's important that you know that I cared.
That all those walls, all that distance, it was fear. That he wanted Bojack's love, his respect, and didn't know how to ask for it.
But I cared so much, Bojack, about you, about your mother.
Bojack listens. Maybe he even believes him. They return to the theater, and Bojack's slipping again. The lights, the stage, the dripping. It's all closing in.
Stop the show!
He's panicking now, trying to retrace his steps, trying to figure out how he can wake up from his dream,
I broke into my house, but it wasn't my house anymore. I got out of the pool and I called Diane.
The realization is setting in. It was never a dream. But Herb doesn't give answers, just a smirk.
We have a real treat for you next. It's Secretariat!
And as the spotlight narrows, Secretariat steps forward one final time to read a poem, The View from Halfway Down. The words fall heavy. What began as confidence shifts to dread.
I changed my mind. I don't want to.
It's okay.
But it's too late.
Find your peace, big guy.
Silence. Finality. And that's when Bojack realizes he can't get out. The show goes on. Beatrice and Crackerjack perform a musical routine, the final act of this surreal farewell. And then Herb announces the headliner.
Bojack Horseman!
Spotlight on him. The theater cheers. He looks at the open door and asks,
Is it terrifying?
and Herb, the same Herb he's argued with, cried with, never got closure with, looks at him and says,
No, I don't think so. Everything must come to an end.
Bojack nods and tells him he'll see him on the other side. That's when Herb offers the final gut punch.
Oh, Bojack, no. There is no other side.
That's when it hit him. There is no encore. No next time. Only now. Only this. So he runs. Back into the house. Through the dining room, the living room, running across the table as indistinct voices echo around him. The black tar is spreading. He tries the front door, but it's blocked by a twisted hydrangea plant, a grotesque version of the one he gave his mother. He turns to the bird, the one he kicked out earlier, now back again. He begs her,
I'm looking for a phone.
but she just unravels, literally, her head peeling into an infinite loop, spiraling out of control. Bojack grabs a fireplace poker and chases her through the house until she's consumed by the rising black tar. Desperate, he lunges for the kitchen phone, and someone picks up.
Diane!
Bojack gasps in relief,
Diane, you're gonna save me, right? I called you and you're coming to get me?
but Diane's voice is calm. Too calm.
Bojack, why did you call me? I live in Chicago. I can't save you.
And that's when it hit him. He didn't wake up. He didn't get out of the pool. After leaving a voicemail, he went back in, and now, this isn't real. None of it is. It's just his brain trying to make sense of what's happening. Bojack walks outside, back to the bridge where it all began. He sees the tar consume the silhouette of his body floating in the pool. He has a small conversation with Diane.
My day was good.
And that's the end. Not with a scream, not with applause, but with a heart rate monitor. Because sometimes the real horror isn't death, it's the regret you carry when you've run out of time to make things right. And for Bojack, this is it. The drip finally stops. But then something happens. After the black screen, after the silence, a sound breaks through. Then another. The heart monitor stirs back to life. Bojack is still alive. And in that moment, we're reminded that regret doesn't have to be the end of your story. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it can consume you, like the tar, like the drip. But if you're still here, if you're still breathing, then there's still time to reach out, to try again, to forgive, to change. Bojack didn't get a dramatic resolution. He didn't wake up with clarity or closure. He woke up with one simple thing: another chance. And sometimes that's enough. Because the view from halfway down isn't the end. It's a warning, a moment of brutal honesty before it's too late. A reminder that the worst decision of your life doesn't have to be the last one. So if you're stuck, if you're scared, if you feel like the drip is getting louder, don't wait. Pick up the phone, call someone, start again. Because if Bojack Horseman can find a heartbeat in all that darkness, so can you. And if this episode hit you in the heart, if the weight of regret or the pain of change felt all too real, you'll want to see what happened when Finn from Adventure Time faced the loss of someone he loved deeply. Click here to watch it and learn what it teaches about holding on, dealing with regret, and learning to live in the aftermath.